Imagine this, being stuck at home for a month, no going outdoors, no bathing or washing your hair, and the only food you get to eat is steeped in sesame oil and ginger. And oh, you don't get to wash that down with a glass of water either. Sounds like a scary form of house arrest? Well, in a way it is. Welcome to the highly respected, centuries-old Chinese tradition called the confinement. Ingrid welcomed her baby boy 3 weeks ago and has now settled comfortably into a confinement routine, a 28-day regimen to help mothers recover from the strains of childbirth. The nursing mother has the help of an experienced confinement nanny who cares for both mother and child. But with so many taboos and rules governing what Ingrid can and cannot do, it's hardly a long vacation for her. We seek some expert advice to clear the air once and for all. Now let's start with one confinement rule which I'm sure many women have problems with, and that is not taking your bath and not washing your hair. What is the philosophy behind that, and how practical is that for today and in Singapore's weather?
You know, in the olden days when a mother after giving birth, may have a tear, that we call open wound. There's no such thing as tap water. So they fetch water from the river and well, there could be organism inside there. So they have to boil to kill off the organism. By the time they boil and put in the bucket, then by the time the mother strip layers the clothing down, and then they step in the water and there's open wound and you have what we call a no-care. It's a discharge after delivery. And then all this can contaminate the bathtub and then the mother get infected wound. And then that's why they don't bathe at all. And suddenly the water can get very cold and they go into shivering attack. The muscle can go into spasm. So it's not very pleasant feeling altogether.
Is there a happy compromise? You can take a bath in say warm water that is sterile, that is clean.
Of course, that's why in Singapore especially, you know, sometimes as hot as 33 or 32 degrees Celsius outside. And they say to you, no aircon, the old folks say to you, no fan and no bathing. You know, just like a greenhouse effect. So you can actually sweat copiously.
Yeah.
And then in the return, you become dehydrated. So when this happens, again, it's a vicious cycle. You affect your milk flow.
I just like to ask, is it okay for me to wash hair during confinement?
Of course you must wash your hair. Right? Purely because people don't wash hair. In the ancient day, there is no hair dryer. And then they got very long hair. In the winter, by the time they wash your hair, it's quite damp. So that's why, you know, you cannot get it dry. That's why they believe that you end up with headache. You must wash your hair because if your hair is very itchy and you don't wash and you get very heavy-handed, so you're not in the right mood to nurse your baby or do other things. And definitely cannot use powder to do dry cleaning because the powder can block up the pores of the hair. And then that's why after delivery, it could be one of the reasons the hair dropped off. Do you have your hair loss after delivery?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
But I didn't powder my hair.
And that could be due to hormonal as well. You know, your hair, you know, just hormonal influence, so it changes your hormonal. And in Singapore context, you know, it's very hot. If you don't have aircon, no fan, and then try to express your milk, and then you sweating.
I was there.
And it's not right.
It was frustrating, so I stuck into the bathroom every day. And then I sat under the fan.
When nobody is watching.
So I'm actually asking you now, am I going to pay for it in a few years' time?
No. You don't need to put your aircon until like freezing cold. Okay? So it's just comfortable. And then about 24 is about right. 24 degrees Celsius or 26. Yeah, just comfortable for the baby.
Shucks.
Yeah,
I followed that for 28 days. No. As they say, cleanliness is next to holiness. And in the overall care of mummy and baby, what the mother eats is just as important. But when it comes to the confinement menu, it seems that there are just as many do's and don'ts with regards to what mummy gets to enjoy. I remember during confinement I was eating liver and Chinese wine and sesame oil and lots and lots of ginger. So Ingrid, did you take a lot of ginger during your confinement?
Yes, I did. Most of almost everything, the food that my mother prepared, like the red date tea.
Yeah.
Also put ginger and veggie fried with ginger.
Everything
The
is
meat
with
also
ginger.
fried with ginger. So
Is there such a thing of having too much ginger? Because what I heard was that it can actually permeate to the smell and taste of the breast milk. Is that true?
Well, that's what all believe. There's no such thing as ginger milk, okay? We can have ginger tea, but no ginger milk. But when you take too much ginger, ideally also not very good. Whatever you eat, a lot will transmit it through as such. Like you can't overload the baby because the liver of the baby needs to metabolize it down, break it down further. After 10 days, you can actually take more ginger, it's fine.
Any other foods we should stay away from for lactating moms?
Lactating mom is try not to take too much windy food. Like cabbage is windy food, and then onions is windy. So broccoli and cauliflower, although they have fantastic veg, but we mustn't take too much because they actually can create a bit of wind as well.
Spinach, I took lots of spinach.
Yeah, why spinach? Because spinach is rich in iron. Because after delivery you lose a bit of blood, your iron in the hemoglobin could be down a little bit. So that's why they feed you back with some iron.
That would explain the red dates and dried longan
That's
tea
right.
that you drink the whole day for 28 days.
Longan, those red dates tea is good for you. Purely it is rich in vitamin C and iron as well. And also purely because it's warm. You see, when you drink cold water, especially just before nursing your baby, it actually can cause your blood vessels to constrict. Then it may affect the nursing, the milk flow itself.
A confinement mom doesn't have to stick to the same old menu day in, day out. There are many ways of eating well and eating right. Try this fish and green papaya soup at home. Heat up some sesame oil and stir fry the fish bones and head for 10 minutes. Add some ginger and continue frying till it turns brown. Fish is easily digestible and a rich source of protein that can help in muscle repair. Add water and bring it to a boil. You can add papaya skin, Chinese parsley and spring onion too. Simmer this for 3 hours. Strain the fish stock, then add red dates, wolfberries and diced green papaya and simmer for 2 hours. The green papaya is good for lactating moms, but this is a healthy and nourishing soup that can be enjoyed by the whole family.
Well, so far we've looked at ways to help mummies ease into their new roles, but let's not forget the equally important other half of the equation, daddies. More on what the man of the house can do when we come back.